So with LiDAR work, there always needs to be some sort of trajectory processing. The next step would be the georeferencing of that data. So what we did in the first module was correct where our LiDAR was in 3D space throughout the entire flight. Now we're going to take the raw data from the LiDAR, or the raw scan data, and marry it to the location of the LiDAR throughout the entire flight to give us a georeferenced point cloud. What this is doing is it's marrying all the raw data with the post-processing data and utilizing the calibration of the LiDAR all together in one to give you an accurate point cloud. Let's hop into mdInfinity and see how that's done. So here we are in mdInfinity desktop. We're going to hop over into our georeferencing tab that you see here. On this step, like I said earlier, we're going to marry the post-processed data of the location and the orientation of our sensor throughout the flight with the raw LiDAR data. So we'll grab our SBET that we just built in mdInfinity, and then we'll also grab our raw LiDAR data, and we'll drag and drop it here to the plan view. Our next step would be is to actually select our output coordinate system and the field of view that we flew at. So in this case, we flew with an 85-degree field of view with the LiDAR 1000. And we're going to want an LAS file, an ASPRS LAS 1.4 file, and we're going to take each of those strips and merge them together and export one point cloud. Our next step is to select our output coordinate system. So this was flown NAT 83 2011, Louisiana South. And we're going to go grab Louisiana South. And it was also flown with Geoid 18. So now that we have all of that set, we're simply going to hop over to our process tab and click process. And from there, we'll actually build a georeferenced point cloud. So for actually flying and producing a georeferenced point cloud using our MD LiDAR solutions, post-processing and georeferencing that data is as simple as what you saw me just go through. When you're using a LiDAR or a photogrammetric solution like our MD LiDAR and MD Mapper line, trajectory processing and georeferencing is a necessary animal. The big benefit of what microdrones does is the streamlined workflow all through one suite of software, be it the cloud or the desktop version of mdInfinity. There's some big benefits that you can see. With surveying, things happen in the field. Sometimes, let's say, the wind picks up and knocks over your base station throughout the flight. The huge benefit of mdInfinity is you don't have to worry about that. If something happened to your base station, you can actually use some of the virtual base stations we have to offer, such as a PPRTX or SmartBase. On the construction and the mining side of things, say you're going back to a project and always flying that same project and you want to keep everything the same, you can actually save that base station like you saw within our trajectory processing module, which allows for you to utilize that same coordinate throughout the entirety of the project, be it 1 week or every month or every quarter you're going to fly the site. You can utilize that same base station location, which will help keep your data collected in the same area and consistent. There's a lot of big benefits that we have to offer within our mdInfinity software that you saw me go through, from the ease of use for the trajectory and the georeferencing of the LiDAR data, and will help streamline your workflows because we can support all facets of the workflow, not just the drone or not just the payload, not just the back-end software, but everything in between.